YouTube, it's Maddie, the Empty Nest Scrapper. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you stopped by. If it's your first time, I hope you enjoy the content and will consider subscribing when the content is through. Also, a comment and a thumbs up is always appreciated. And if you're returning, I'm super glad you came back. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about watercolor. The reason I'm going to talk about watercolor is because I am a crafter who has an unhealthy attraction to collecting watercolors. I do not watercolor. I don't know how. I tried to follow a tutorial not too long ago and became frustrated, even though I've collected numerous watercolor palettes, and I was a little bit upset with myself for collecting all of these and really having no watercolor talent at all. However, I do like to make cards, I do like to stamp, and I thought I'm gonna just see if I can play with my watercolor and color in a stamp that I will use in a card. And these are the paints I used. If you saw that video, you know I used the Pretty Excellent palette of watercolor paints. Depending on your definition, because I don't know exactly what is true, this is either a budget brand. Well, it's definitely a budget brand. It's 36 watercolors, available on Amazon, usually for around $20. But I've heard people describe this as a student grade as well. I'll let you see if you hadn't seen the previous video, and if you're not familiar. So it comes in this metal tin, which is generally recommended for the best kind of tin to use in a palette. And when you open it up, there are 36 colors. So I'll let you have a look-see at those 36 colors if you're interested. And that little palette, that little parrot is on the inside of the palette and the outside. So I think it came with a water brush that was stored here. I don't use that brush because I think I lost it. This is supposed to be where you mix your paint. I never use that. And that is the set of 36. So after watching numerous watercolor videos, this might have been one of the very first palettes I purchased. I did swatch out my palette. I always swatch out the colors on anything I use. And I don't know how long it sat in my stash untouched. So recently I pulled it out again and made a video about, use your stash. And I did use my stash. So I'm not a fan of this tin. It doesn't seem to close properly. That's one of the reasons that this is the least favorite set of watercolors in my stash. The other reason is I don't like these little plastic molded half pans. It's just, there's no pan that comes out that you'll typically find in a watercolor set. They're just like a plastic, mold, and they pour in the watercolors there. I believe that the Pretty Excellent has upgraded since then, and now there are tons of watercolors affiliated with this, larger ones, small sparkle ones, And I think even this one has the standard half pans that can be pulled out and replaced if you like currently. But I thought I have it, I should use it. And I did paint that image that you see. I'm going to pick it up so you can see it. And I had a pretty good time. So, this is the image that I watercolored with that set. And I tried to do a little, you know, kindergarten style shading. I was okay with it. There, can you see it better? That's close enough. Okay. And I use a water brush. I know that's not what real watercolor artists do, but that's who I am. I use this plastic palette, which is also not recommended, but my other palettes were not clean in that moment, and so I just pulled it out and it did the job. That's okay. So, as I said, I have way too many palettes for a person who does not watercolor. But what I decided to do is show you my favorite watercolor palette, and it's this one, Van Gogh. I watch a lot of videos. This, by some people's standards, is a very high quality student brand. We're not talking about professional brands at this point right now. So this, according to some people, are student or budget. This one, generally when people discuss this brand, I only hear the phrase student brand, and that's fine with me. I'm no professional, as I already shared. I love this palette. Again, I rarely paint, so even 2 palettes is excessive, but of course I have many more than 2, and we'll get to that. So one of the things about this little palette, first of all, it is not metal, so this is technically a lower quality little case, but that doesn't bother me too much. It shows you on the back the colors that are included, and it's called a 12+3 pocket box. So it's kind of weird. These are the colors that are included, and you can see if I pull it super close, I have used it some. There's actually even one color that I'm getting towards the bottom of. I think this palette is adorable. These colors are supposed to be light fast, and I know I am not selling, I don't know what that is in there. Let's just get you out of there. I am not selling my work. I am not even selling my cards. So generally, light fast is something that's important if you're hanging your artwork, which I am also not doing, or selling it, because light fast is what's referred to when you hang up your artwork or somebody displays your artwork, and it is guaranteed not to fade. So these are light fast paints, and it comes, this was right in here. I'll show you how it clicks in again. So that nifty little thing is a little tool, as well as a little pocket brush, which I have never ever used, but it is, you know, adorable. There it is. So comes with this brush, but this tool is needed because this is the mixing area that I never use, And this pops out to reveal another mixing area, but what I did was I put my swatch card right there. If you pull that out, it is just a laminated swatch card. If you pull that out, there's a large mixing area over there. So this set, the Van Gogh 12 plus 3 and all the Van Gogh sets, I imagine, tell you the pigment number, which is important if you know what you're doing in watercolor. And then you can look up for yourself if it's actually light fast. But you know it's a student grade because it includes white, which is a big no-no according to some watercolor artists. According to others, they say that it do what you like. And that's my jam. So what I decided to do with my favorite watercolor was stamp the exact same image and cut it on my scanning cut. And I cleaned out my palettes since then. I have this cute little thing that I got at Hobby Lobby, I think. Of course, with a coupon. And this works just as well. And that's a ceramic plate from the Dollar Tree back in the day when it really was $1. You could probably get it in the $1.25 tree as well. But that's what I had. So, yeah. So I'm gonna paint the same image and see if I feel like the experience is any different. But then I'm gonna come back to you in a different video and compare the two colored in images to see if I feel as if it is any different at all. What I will say, I'm going to give it a little spray so that it will release easily. As I said, this swatch card is laminated, so it's really not a big deal that I got it wet. And you know, hopefully you won't mind painting along with me. So I did use a light pink color, and I intend to do the same thing. I have just a few colors here. Sometimes I mix a little bit of the colors, sometimes I don't, depending on how it looks to my eye. And again, no real talent here. I am just painting as if I was in kindergarten, trying to relieve some stress, and thought I'd bring you along with me. And you know, if you have some supplies that you feel you purchased and aren't utilizing enough. So this one I have had in my stash for some time, and I used it a bit. I'm talking about years, and just a bit. So my thought is, this is my favorite one. Let's see if there's a reason why it's my favorite one. I'm not really sure why I never took to that Pretty Excellent. I may, let me know in the comments. I may destash it. I may offer it as a giveaway if anyone wants a mostly full watercolor palette. I'm sure there's many paintings left in that palette for someone who is interested in giving it a try and would like to, you know, experiment without purchasing watercolors just yet. If you are interested in at all in this idea, and you want to know a little bit about the pretty excellent paints, you absolutely can type that into YouTube, and there are numerous reviews on this paint. Most people like it. There is no pigment information, as I said. If that's important to you, you may not even want to enter the giveaway. But if it's not important to you and you're thinking of dabbling in the world of watercolor and not ready to pull the trigger on spending anything just yet, you know, this may be your jam. This may be your perfect match made for you. So that's something I'm thinking about doing. Let me know in the chat if you would be interested in entering a giveaway. I'll maybe discuss that when we do the comparison of the two stamped images that have been watercolored, and I'll let you know if my feeling is that I would like for a viewer, a subscriber, to own that watercolor and give it the attention that it deserves in their stash. So I am trying to put a little shading. I did shade the other watercolor as well, and you know, I don't have watercolor experience or have not taken watercolor classes, but I do like crafting, and I do like having lots of fun toys in my craft room, and these are some of them. On the other hand, if you're interested in the Van Gogh paint that I'm using right now, they're also available on Amazon, and you can easily find them if you type Van Gogh watercolor into the Amazon search, or if you have difficulty, leave me a comment and I will drop a link. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure that they can be easily found. And you know, you don't get nearly as many colors. That pretty much doesn't bother me. Many of these colors are kind of basic, and you can pretty much mix, you know, tons of color from them. So, you know, I do have another large set that I also rarely use, and I have done video on that one. Those are, you know, the Kuretake Gansai Tambe. Tons of people have those as well. Tons of people have these. And, you know, I know that many people enjoy the Pretty Excellent. And maybe if it were my only palette, which probably it should be, maybe I would enjoy that just as much. But here we are, tons of palettes later, and I don't enjoy them just as much. I, you know, have a preference for a few of the other paints that I already own. So I'm thinking it is probably a good idea to let that go, either to YouTube subscribers or maybe some of my crafty friends, anyone who would be interested in checking those out. Now, just like I said, I don't know much about watercoloring. I also, make these claims because I've watched other watercolor professionals or YouTube professionals or, watercolor painters who are on YouTube. I don't want to insult anybody, but there are people out there who are on YouTube who can paint and do reviews. So one of those, the one I like to watch quite often, is Lindsay the Frugal Crafter, and she recommended these very highly. I believe it was back in 2017, and so since it was reasonably priced, I think it probably was my first try, or my first purchase rather, for watercolors, and probably was a good first purchase. But when I research something, I watch not one video, not 10 videos, but as many videos as I possibly can on, the given product. And, it's kind of excessive, but that's part of the hobby for me. And, let me know if anyone else out there is like that. Do you watch an enormous number of review videos before you make a purchase? That's me. That's what I do. When something first comes out, no, I rarely order it then. But if something first comes out and I am interested in it, I will watch video after video to see if everybody else likes it. And if enough people who I respect on YouTube like it, and I feel it's a good price, a good buy, a good fit for me, whatever the case may be, later on down the road, after everybody else has had that item for a really long time, that's when I'm ordering it. So very rarely are you seeing me at the onset of a product. The recent exception, of course, is the VersaFine Clair new colors that just came out, that I purchased immediately. But the reason I could do that is because I already had the VersaFine Clair inks, the 24 that came out first, and I knew I loved them. So when additional colors, and they did need additional colors, so when the additional colors came out, I didn't need to watch anything else to know that I wanted that. And so that was more of a product that I was familiar with, and I did jump on that as soon as it came out. But new products, hot foiling, I never did purchase that system. That was really something that looked fun, and I'm sure it is fun, but I foil every once in a blue moon, and I already had the Mink system. And after I watched people who do love the product, and it makes beautiful, beautiful cards, so that's really not the issue. The issue was, do I really need an additional system? No, because I rarely foil. And it looked like there was a learning curve, and that's not my jam, not at all. I like easy peasy. So those two were strong reasons for me. And in addition to that, I did not really feel as if I wanted to give any more space in my craft room for foiling. I have a little machine, it's compact, it works well, I like it, and I have one drawer of foil and one drawer of the images to be foiled, and that's enough space in my craft room for something that I do every once in a blue moon. So it doesn't mean any system or product is bad. It means that I have to look at, is that something that, you know, is a good fit for me? And that one I don't regret. Yet I bought the Platinum 6 just in case I change my mind. So, you know, whatever, do with it, with that information what you will. But besides that, there are like a lot of people. Let's go with this green. This is sap green. There are a lot of people who like the stamp platform that looks like a flower. Now I can't remember the name of that stamp platform, but it doesn't have a hinge like the Misty. You can make a wreath very easily, and I think it's Altenew. Let me see. I bought the sticky mat that you can buy separately that comes with it. Let me see. It's the stamp wheel. Okay, so lots of people love this stamp wheel. I already had Stamp Perfect. I can't even tell you. I have so many stamp positioning tools. When they came out with alternatives to the Misty, I jumped on every one I could find because they were so much more reasonably priced. Now I have these stamp positioning tools that nobody can get anymore, but I love them. And since then, I have been gifted the Misty as well. So the stamp wheel, I thought, no, I don't actually want to buy a huge $100 stamp positioner that makes wreaths. And I see that there are several crafters who make beautiful, beautiful projects with that item. And I know it is a good product because I've seen many crafters do wonderful things. I'm just not one of them. I don't need it. I'm not interested in it. And in fact, I did buy, as I said, as I showed you, the sticky mat that they made available separately, right? They made that sticky mat available, and And let me just see if I could lift that mess. Otherwise, I'll just fix it with, you know, a white gel pen. See if that'll lift. Not really. All right, white gel pen it shall be. Anyway, I bought the other sticky mat. I think Altenew makes it. I think, not positive. But I like that other sticky mat better. So, you know, I'm not gonna buy every craft item that comes out, and when I do, I take my time. And yet, I spend my time researching, tons of time, researching things like watercolor and buying a ridiculously excessive amount. So none of that really makes sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand me. I don't know if you do. If you do, if you can think of a reason for that, they are pretty. I mean, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Yes, pretty indeed. But I don't need all of these. So, yes, I will probably do that giveaway. I will probably do that giveaway when I come back and compare these watercolors and see if, to my eye, or even to your eye, if it's something that, you know, is more appealing, or is it just the experience of the different palette more appealing to me, which, you know, I'm the only one here, so if it's not more appealing to you, you use what you love. And I think I probably had, you know, a good experience painting both images. I don't necessarily think that painting the other image was, you know, less enjoyable. Me and my craft room can find joy together pretty much anytime we're able to get in the zone of crafting, and that's okay. But I can still find my way to let go of the excessive amount of products that do the same thing. So that's what I think I'm gonna do. I hope that you know, while you're watching, you pull out some of your supplies that you haven't used and you would like to see if you can enjoy those supplies and rediscover them, or decide to pass them along. Or if you don't pass them along to another crafter, maybe you would do a giveaway with your supplies that should be well loved and not just collecting dust in your craft room. So if you're planning on doing a giveaway on your channel, please feel free to leave a comment and or a link and let us know. Are there supplies in your craft room that are excessive? Not all of my supplies are excessive, I don't think, but, you know, some of them are. Namely, you know, but not, including but not limited to, watercolor in my room, you know, including watercolor, but certainly I have an unhealthy addiction to watercolor crayons. I am going to do an unboxing for a ginormous set of pencils that I just brought in. You know, I think I have a problem. I know some of you feel you have a problem too. But, you know, if I do look back and feel as if I should lighten up what I am collecting in this room, then I think a YouTube giveaway is fun. I mean, I like the product well enough to spend my own money on it and hold it in my craft room and play with it from time to time. And, you know, truthfully, I showed the product. It's not brand new, so you would have to be cool with that. So, you know, those are my thoughts on that. I think I'm just gonna add one more color. Here we are. And pretty much call it a day with this guy. After they all dry, I will come back and show you. Oh, look, I forgot a leaf and a petal. So I might go ahead and do that off camera. Not sure if you want to be bored with that, waiting for all of that. Let's see. Can I do it real quick? Here's the petal, and I don't know if you guys saw the leaf and said, hey, what about that leaf? You might have. And there we are. So I think that's what I'm going with. Let me see if I can give you a closer look. There's another part I didn't finish, but I will do that on my own. So that's pretty much what we have. And those are the Van Gogh. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope you pulled out something in your craft room and played with it. Let me know if you're interested in a giveaway. And I will do the comparison video shortly. Until then, bye-bye, YouTube.